Hello everyone, this is Pooka and welcome to another game I played on the Pokemon Trading Card Game Online from Bad Deck Monday. And this is going to be kind of a throwback to an older deck I used called Let's Hit the Beach it was just basically Flygon, Dusknoir, and Chandelure. We had no energy, it was just 4 Tropical Beach, and we would just use abilities to win the game. Change it up a little bit. Now instead of the Chandelure line, we're going to use Accelgor with double colorless energy. Gives the deck a little more flexibility. Gives it an actual attack to finish off the game at some point. Unfortunately, my opening hand does not seem too good, and we're going up against a Team Plasma deck. Victini 230. And it looks like my opponent has a pretty fast start. Got that Prism energy on the active Thunderous. There's a Chorus Machine. I'm actually pretty happy I didn't get hit by Frost Spear. My opponent is opting to go for the Raiden Knuckle instead. So I'm pretty happy we dodged the Frost Spear turn one. That would have been pretty bad. But we're still in some trouble. I don't have a supporter. I don't have a Tropical Beach. I don't really have much of anything. But yeah, this is just Flygon, Dusknoir, and Accelgor. Flygon has the Sand Slammer ability if it's active in between turns. It puts a damage counter on each of your opponent's Pokemon in between every turn. And then you can use Dusknoir's Sinister Hand to rearrange damage on your opponent's field. And you can also use Accelgor to deck and cover, do 50 poison and paralyze, and then you push up Flygon in between turns, and then Sand Slammer activates. So it's a nice little combo. Most of the time we're just going to be using Tropical Beach to end the turn, and then Sand Slammer does damage. But right now it's all about survival. I am extremely worried about Frost Spear at this point because a catcher on my Trapinch and a Frost Spear could be a double knockout this turn. That would be pretty annoying. I would lose both Trapinch and Accelgor, or Trapinch and Shelmet, and I would just be left with a Shelmet. But we do see a Chorus for 3 here, so it looks like we may be in some decent position to at least survive for a while. I'm just hoping Trapinch survives so we can rare candy into Flygon. And, at least try to survive long enough to get a supporter. This is pretty bad. My opponent has a Kyurem powered up turn 2. Can Blizzard Burn. Looks like my opponent might have misclicked there. Forgot to take a Pokemon with that Team Plasma Ball. But yikes. Look at this. Turn 2. There's 5 energy on the field. And oh wow, I top decked a Professor Juniper. Alright. So we are back in business. Might as well just play this Pokemon catcher to bring out the Kyurem that only has the Plasma energy on it. Seems to make sense here. I could have used deck and cover here, but I decided against it because, well, if I use deck and cover, I have to shuffle Accelgor in, and then if my opponent has like a switch and a way to knock out my Flygon, I lose the game. So I don't want to take that risk. I'll just accept using Sand Slammer here, and we'll save the Accelgor for a later date. And we get the Float Stone onto that Kyurem. And he's going to retreat into the one with the 3 energy. Hopefully I don't get knocked out here. But there is a Hypnotoxic Laser. Uh-oh. And what else? There's a computer search. We're probably going to see a Deoxys EX. And that is not good news for me. Blizzard Burn. Flygon goes down. And I am left with pretty much nothing here. And now my opponent is at 1 card, but I really don't have much of a choice. I don't have any setup here. So I'm going to go for an N and put down my Tropical Beach as well. We're going to play a Tool Scrapper, get rid of those 2 Float Stones on the Kyurem and the Thunderous EX. And I could deck and cover this turn, but I figure, what is the point in that? My opponent can't even use an attack this turn anyway. So I may as well just use a turn to Tropical Beach and try to set up a Flygon or something. Because a deck and cover here doesn't really do much for me. I need to set up. I'm already down 2 prizes. I can't afford to waste any more time here. So we're going to retreat. I can retreat into either Mr. Mime or Duskull. And I decide Mr. Mime's probably less useful than Dusknoir would be. So we're going to send Mr. Mime out as a sacrifice. And my opponent plays the catcher onto my Accelgor, a laser, and an N. So if there's a switch here, Accelgor goes down, and that's not good for me. I'm pretty much going to lose all of my offense here in a very short amount of time. But oh wow, my opponent decides to retreat the Kyurem and raid Knuckle for 40, powering up that other Kyurem. So that was a nice turn of events for me. And now maybe we can start to stabilize a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and level ball for probably another Trapinch, so we can get a Flygon going at least at some point. I can do either that or go for Duskclops, try to get Dusknoir into play. I think my best plan of attack may be to deck and cover this turn, and if I'm going to do that, I probably need to Skyla for a supporter. But it looks like I am going to grab a Trapinch instead of the old Duskclops. I'm not so far behind that I need to, get out Dusknoir immediately, but I'm going to need to X soon. And I'm not really sure what to Skyla for at this point. If I had another level ball, this would be nice, but it doesn't look like I do. And yeah, I'm going to take that N just so I have a supporter for next turn. And we're going to deck and cover 50 poison and paralyze the Thunderous EX. And hopefully he doesn't have a switch. There's 2 float stones gone already. Here is a Pokemon catcher, though, onto the Trapinch. And I'm not sure what's going on here. Alright, a Verbank City Gym. Uh-oh, and a Juniper. So this could end up very poorly in a lot of ways. We could see a switch and a Frost Spear that would knock me out, or we could just see a pass that works too. Alright, cool. So we actually got some extra damage there thanks to his Verbank. But oh my goodness. Look at that beauty of a hand. Wow. 3 max potions, alright. That is very useful against something that knocks you out in one hit. Oh well, we're going to Tropical Beach, draw 2 cards, let the poison damage accumulate a bit more, and this game has just not gone very well for me at all. The Verbank is coming back. Tropical Beach is kind of my lifeblood for this deck. You do need it quite frequently. It's pretty much your attack most of the game. I actually run a little lower on supporters in this deck because you run 4 Tropical Beach in this deck. I apologize for people who would want to try out this deck. This is difficult to build. It requires 4 of the most expensive card in the game, but it's a very fun deck. I do enjoy it quite a bit. Alright, so here we have a Skyla, and I can decide on all sorts of things, but I'm going to go for the rare candy. Probably just get a Dusknoir into play right now. So not Dusknoir, Flygon, duh. Dusknoir is not quite there yet, but we lost our Mr. Mime. I'm going to go for Muna and Long Distance Hypnosis, since we don't really attack. Muna is another cute tech you can run in here. And the Sand Slammer is going to build up some more damage. Eventually I'm trying to build to a point where I get enough damage on board to get Dusknoir out, Sinister Hand, move damage to both Kyurems, knock them both out, and then my opponent will be left with no energy in play on the big attackers. And oh no, there's a Getsus, and it got like 5 cards from my hand. Ouch, that was brutal. Wow, I was not expecting that. Okay, and now, Blizzard Burn knocks out my Flygon, and now it's like, what in the world do I do from here? I can promote either Muna or Trapinch here. I don't want to promote Duskull. I decided to promote the Trapinch, and yeah, I'm really not sure what my plan of attack here is at this point. We're going to go for the Long Distance Hypnosis, and I get Tails, then I'll evolve to get rid of the Sleep, and Chorus for a fresh 6 cards here. We do have a Pokemon catcher, and my opponent has used like 3 float stones already. So we'll see if we can catch him without any switching effects, and maybe that can be my way to win at this point. You can see there are 2 float stone in the discard pile. and a computer search. So there's no dowsing machine to get those back. So yeah, I'm just trying to find any sort of way to stay in this game at this point. We're going to Ultra Ball. Now I have to decide if I want to get Duskclops or a second Duskull just in case my opponent has a catcher. I can definitely come back if I get a Dusknoir into play. So I can either go Dusknoir or Duskclops or Duskull here. Both are viable options. My opponent does have one Pokemon catcher left. I think there were 3 in the discard pile. And I do have Rare Candy and Dowsing Machine left. So I could get Rare Candy, Dusknoir. It's just a matter of what do I want to do here. I can also grab Shelmet, apparently. But I think that is the wrong move. And I think we're going to go Duskull. This is a very difficult decision. This can actually determine the outcome of the game. But alright, I'm just going to say, you know what, if you have a switch and a catcher and you knock out my Duskclops, well then, congratulations. You have beaten me. So we're going to Float Stone on the Vibrava and retreat to Muna, draw 6 with the Tropical Beach, and hope for the best. It's really all I can do at this point. I'm down 6-2 in prizes. And there's 2 fully powered Kyurems on board. This is not an enviable position, but oh, okay. My opponent just attaches and passes. I can live with that, alright. So now, hopefully we can get Dusknoir out. I do have this N. I might want to bench that Duskull just in case. We can get that double colorless onto the Shelmet if I want to. So I can deck and cover in the future perhaps. Trying to see how many DCE are gone. We'll put a Float Stone on the Muna and attach to the Shelmet. And then we'll go for the N. I probably did that out of order. I should have retreated into Vibrava, then Long Distance Hypnosis, and then evolved. But that's okay. We'll play a Super Rod here. Put in a Trapinch and probably a Flygon. These are all very difficult decisions. When you're playing behind in games, you really have to make sure every single resource goes to use. You cannot, make a mistake in these kinds of situations because you're down by so much. You have no room for error at this point. So every little decision matters, even something as small as this, deciding which 3 cards to put back in your deck with Super Rod. I figure I may need a second Flygon at some point. So we're going to go for the Long Distance Hypnosis, get a heads, put him to sleep, and he stays asleep. I was not able to get Dusknoir out that turn, though. I did not get that. That was a bummer. Ooh, we do see a Keldeo EX. That is not good for us. My opponent has another Float Stone here. We're in some trouble. But no, we see a Tool Scrapper. So either my opponent only plays 3 Float Stone or another is prized. Either way, that was a huge miss for my opponent, not having a way to get out of the active spot and knock out my Flygon. And oh boy, we top deck the Dusknoir. And that means it's time to have some fun. We got the shiny Dusknoir coming to play, and he means business. Sinister Hand, the ability allows you to rearrange damage on your opponent's field, and oh boy. Take a look at what's left in my deck. 2 Trapinch, 2 Flygon, Vibrava, a double colorless, a switch, and a dowsing machine. That's not very good. But alright. Now will come the very long process of using Sinister Hand. And if I have any complaint about Pokemon TCG Online, it is Sinister Hand. What a pain in the butt it is to use this ability. I mean, since the original Pokemon TCG Online, the one that was browser-based, a couple years ago, people complained about Reuniclus's damage swap being like this, and they never fixed it. It has always stayed like this. There has to be some way to just kind of like subtract and then add. Not click on Dusknoir, click on Sinister Hand, click on the Pokemon, click on the other Pokemon, click OK. And that's just for 10 damage. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, for 5 clicks per 10 damage. So this is probably going to be like 100 clicks just to move 100 damage or whatever. That's not the correct math. Anyway, this is a lot of clicks that should not be necessary. It's very frustrating, takes a lot of time, and I surely hope they fix this at some point. There is a much better way to do this. Alright, the long and short of it is we just moved a bunch of damage to both Curums so that in between turns, Sand Slammer can knock them out. And this is the big turn we needed to take away those big attackers. Now we have those max potions to heal off any sort of small damage from Thunderous EX or maybe even Deoxys EX. We can just max potion and they'll never be able to knock me out again. And my opponent actually says, "Good game," after those Curums go down, realizing that this game is just straight up over. And actually plays a Juniper and draws the rest of his deck. He realizes, I can't knock out Flygon anymore. I can't take 2 more prizes. So that's going to be it. We were behind the entire game here. And just with one single turn of Dusknoir's Sinister Hand, all that damage we built up over the course of the game ended up being very useful. And we got a victory. So hope you guys enjoyed. I'll have some more videos for you guys soon. This is Pooka from the Top Cut. And I'll see you guys next time.